If you're going to ask me, should I go union, trade school, or apprenticeship route? Hey, if they are saying they'll cover the cost for the school, I don't think it hurts. I think, hey, why not? Go take the school. That's only going to give you more training, more experience, maybe some certifications under your belt. And then I think once you go through the trade school, if they're going to offer it to you, and maybe at that point is when, if there's a union, if the IBW is close to you, is somewhere where you want to go, you just look into getting into an IBW union apprenticeship, which is going to be about a 4 or 5 year program for the electrician apprenticeship in between your trade school and hopefully, getting into an electrician apprenticeship. You'll have 5+ years of training. Hello, welcome back to another episode of CTQ. CTQ is a segment I do on the channel called Cruise to Questions, and this is where I take your guys' questions and I answer them here to basically help you guys on your blue collar career pathways. Okay, there's a lot of unknown questions, concerns, whatever the case may be, when trying to get started in a trade, the blue collar world, whether that be an apprenticeship in a union, just getting started as a laborer, a groundman, a helper somewhere. If you don't have someone in your family or someone there's a lot of questions, okay? And that's what we're here, that's what I'm here to try to help you with, is those questions. So CTQ is where you can put your comments your questions in the comments down below, or you can email them to austin@bluecollaredu.com, or you can find us on TikTok or Instagram and ask us on the DMs as well. And I'll take your guys' questions and I answer them here. So today I'm going to go over a few questions that you guys have submitted, that you guys have asked in the comment sections or on email. And I'm going to try to help you guys today break down some barriers that you guys might be experiencing to get started in the trades. So with all that being said, don't forget to smash that like button if you guys enjoy these types of videos. If you guys enjoy this type of content, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Helps the channel out, help the channel grow, give me a little bit more resource to keep doing this. Yeah, so with all that being said, let's hop into question number one. Question number one is coming from a guy who commented at Sirena KH. It says, I'm 15 and from Canada. My youth worker recommended I look into the trades, especially becoming an electrician. He told me it's one of the easier trades to get into, and also that if I go to school for it, my probation officer can cover the cost. So it would basically be free for me. I really don't want to waste this opportunity. I had a couple of questions. Do you recommend an electrician, or are there other trades I should be seriously considered? Number two, should I go the union, trade school, or apprenticeship route? All right, well, first off, good for you at 15 years old to, shout out to your youth worker for recommending, hey, maybe you should look into the trades. A lot of opportunity. At 15 years old, you're still pretty young to be exploring your options and not to be canceling out or deciding I'm not going to do this or that. You're not 30 with a family, a mortgage, 2 car payments, and 4 kids. So you're in a good position to kind of explore your options. And this is what this question is kind of all about is, do I recommend you become an electrician? Now, the electrician trade is a big trade. As obviously a lot of you guys know, the electrician trade covers a lot of different territory. There's a lot of versatility in the electrician trade, whether you want to work residential, do commercial, do industrial. Here in America, especially, there's a lot of data centers going up because of AI stuff and blah, 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 blah. So a lot of data centers, which is a big thing I know electricians are doing in America. And it just opens up a whole lot. If you want to be an industrial electrician, work in factories or industrial settings like mills or paper mill or lumber mill or a some sort of refinery. If you want to be a control specialist industrial electrician where you specialize in doing controls for automations and things like that in these different factories. There's a lot of, once you really go down the rabbit hole of what electricians do in the grand scheme of things, there is a lot of opportunity. So your probation officer, your youth worker is not wrong. Becoming an electrician is a great career, okay? Because of that versatility, because of the amount of opportunity, I think that is provided once you become a journeyman, a master electrician, and you have your 4, 5 plus 10 of years of experience as an electrician, and you have that training, you have that apprenticeship under your belt, and those sorts of things, it opens up a lot of doors. And I think once you get through those first 5 to 10 years, you can start kind of picking niches or specializing in doing something, and there's a lot of money in that type of stuff. So I do recommend become an electrician. Now, the electrician, obviously, there's going to be a lot of math involved. There's going to be that sort of stuff that you're going to have to really think about. If you're not the greatest in school, of course, it's okay. There's a lot of people who work in the trades that the reason why we work in the trades is because, hey, we weren't that great in school. So you don't have to go worry about that sort of thing. But the electrician trade is there's just so much opportunity. Okay, there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of versatility. Not to mention, hey, maybe you go through an apprenticeship, go through trade school, and you get that experience. You get your certificates. You become a journeyman. Maybe you become a master. Maybe you want to do your own thing, which is highly likely. A lot of people, they do the trade for 5-10 years and like, hey, maybe I just want to be my own residential company. Maybe I just want to do my own residential electrician type of work. Or maybe you want to start your own subcontracting company. And those sorts of things are super highly possible in an electrician trade. Not so much in a trade like the lineman trade or ironwork or like one of these big industrial, commercial, or construction trades like that. Yes, there's people that start their own companies. Of course there is. But if you look at the business side of things, LLCs and things like that in your area, there's going to be way more electrician companies just because there's that opportunity is, I think, a lot more readily available. I actually do recommend you become an electrician. I think if you just tell yourself, actually look into the electrician trade and realize that there's a lot of opportunity there, I think you just step right into it and pursue it. I think that's a great trade to pursue. A lot of money to be made, especially if you go union and you want to just be an employee. You don't want to start your own company and this and that. You can work for the union. You get the pay. You'll get the benefits. You'll get the retirements. Especially at 15, once you graduate or you become 18 and you're able to get into the field and start working, you can build a really good career, 20, 25 plus years, and retire when you're 50. So, yeah. Now, question number part 2, should I go to the union, trade school, or apprenticeship route? Those things are really 3 kind of different things. The union and the apprenticeship can go, in hand. Those will intertwine with each other. The trade school, in my opinion, is the stepping stone to getting into the field. So you'll have the union and you'll have the non-union. People who decide, hey, maybe I just want to work for an open shop or residential company in my area, I'll go to a trade school to learn about the electrician trade, and maybe I can go work for that mom and pop shop or that electrician company in my city, in my town, and just start there as a helper. Or maybe they offer an open shop apprenticeship. I don't know really in Canada if it's like, a right to work area or things like that. I know the IBW is pretty strong in parts of Canada, but if you're going to ask me, should I go union, trade school, or apprenticeship route? Hey, if they are saying they'll cover the costs for the school, I don't think it hurts. I think, hey, why not? Go take the school. That's only going to give you more training, more experience, maybe some certifications under your belt. And then I think once you go through the trade school, if they're going to offer it to you, and maybe at that point is when, if there's a union, if the IBW is close to you, it's somewhere where you want to go, you just look into getting into an IBW union apprenticeship, which is going to be about a 4 or 5 year program for the electrician apprenticeship in between your trade school and hopefully, getting into an electrician apprenticeship. You'll have 5+ years of training, which will just ultimately make you a more valuable asset in the electrician industry. And obviously that could happen before the age of 25 or, well before the age of 25, and you'll be set to go. Being an electrician is going to be needed everywhere. It's never going to go away. AI technology is not going to take away electricians. If anything, it's going to increase the demand for electricians as they put more automation, more technology, more AI implementing inside of factories, inside of these different industries. Someone's still going to have to wire these things up and program them. These are where these different niches come into play. So that's what I recommend for you. Yeah, electricians is a great industry, great path for you to get at 15 years old. And you're already thinking about it, go to the trade school, learn it, start doing those steps. I would personally apply for a union electrician apprenticeship, try to get into that. It's a 5-year program. Become a journeyman electrician, maybe get your master, test out, become a master electrician, and then the doors are wide open. You can literally go anywhere, go find any specific niche you want to do, and I think you'll have an awesome career ahead of you. All right, let's hop into question number 2. Question number 2 is coming from a guy, Braden, who emailed me saying, "Hello, I am currently in high school with 7 months left to graduate. I will get my CDL Class A, no restrictions, OSHA 30-hour cert, first aid, CPR, as well as climbing hours on my own with the journeyman approval, hopefully around 40 hours or more. With all that, would you recommend going to line school as well? I feel as if having all that is all I can possibly do to stand out besides actual experience. Do you think I would get hired as a union groundman or possibly get into a lineman apprenticeship without having job experience? And if not, what jobs do you recommend to work and gain experience to better the chance of getting that apprenticeship?" Well, Braden, bravo, dude, for you'll be graduating high school in 7 months. So you're a senior and you are going to have all those certs already, a Class A CDL, OSHA 30, and the first aid CPR cert, which is like really, obviously the CDL being the important one, CPR first aid being the second, and then OSHA 30, which is great as well. Man, you're ahead of the curve. I really applaud you for that. That's awesome. So would I recommend going to line school? If you already have those certifications, no. And especially if you are able to get climbing experience with a journeyman already to kind of teach you that technique and kind of those types of things. That's really the only other thing that line school is going to maybe give you a leg up on other people's having a climbing cert. Okay, climbing is not that hard. You're going to learn that in the apprenticeship. That's what the apprenticeship is for anyway. People go to the line school because they want to figure out, hey, maybe this is the trade I want to pursue. And then line schools obviously market themselves saying, hey, come to our lineman school to become a lineman. There's that. And I think with the certifications you already have, plus 40 hours or more of climbing, now you won't have that climbing cert, but it will be able to prove that, hey, you're being super proactive, which is awesome. That's fantastic. So I personally would not go to line school at that point. Now, having all that is a possible standout besides actual experience. It could stand out. It's showing that you're already being proactive in getting the things that you need to even be to have the requirements, to meet the requirements, I should say, to apply for an apprenticeship. It's showing that proactive and that eagerness to want to do the things required, which will make you stand out. And that's why also going to line school, people will pay the money and time to go, is to basically show on their resume in front of an interview board, hey, like I spent 15 grand, whatever the cost was, in 15 weeks to go to a lineman school because I want to get into this trade. So it's kind of showing that eagerness to like want it. You're doing the steps that, hey, this is the showing that I want to do it type of thing. Do you think you get hired as a union groundman? Yeah, I mean, you just go to the IBW hall local to you or in your surrounding areas and you sign the out of work books. So it's not about getting hired, like applying for a groundman position, unless you want to work for a utility. It's more so about just going to the hall, signing the out of work books, okay, and then waiting for a groundman call. And if you already have your CDL and things like that, no restrictions, and I would say if you can, try to get a tanker's endorsement on top of that. That's going to look really good as well. Yeah, you can get cut out as a groundman, 100%. The only issue is at 18, your CDL is only going to be good in the state that you got it in. I don't know where you live. You didn't give me that information, which is fine. But just let you know that, hey, your CDL is only going to be good in whatever state you have it in, being under 21 years old. So that's going to be a hurdle that you'll have to look out for. And could you possibly get into lineman apprenticeship without having real job experience? It's possible. It's possible, but kind of unlikely, just because I know for a fact when I went to interview and do things like that when I was 19, one of the common things that they told me was like, go get some experience. Like they wanted to look for their applicants that had some experience in a trade, a construction trade, related trade experience is what they do like to see that on your resume. Okay, so upon graduating high school, this kind of leading into the the end of your question. If not, what jobs do you recommend to work and gain experience to better the chance of getting that apprenticeship? Any construction blue collar job is going to be great, but specifically if you're able to, go sign the out of work books in your area. And if you can, getting a groundman call for a lineman crew is going to be on the lower likelihood spectrum. So like whatever, but I don't know what area you live in. Doing power line tree treatment clearance is a awesome option to get related trade experience. That's what I did. That's what a lot of people I recommend have done and are doing right now to try to just get their hands dirty. They get their foot in the door with the union. They become a union member. They start paying dues. And it's a great talking point when it comes time to applying for the apprenticeship. Hey, I went on the books. I took a groundman call for a tree trimming company doing power line clearance. of doing that for 6 months. And that shows that you are taking those steps to go to the union hall, to sign the out of work books. Like if you look at the Northwest Line JATC, if you go on their website, one of the requirements that they have on their thing to apply for their apprenticeship, it doesn't say that you have to go to the sign the out of work books, but one of the requirements that isn't you have to do it type of thing is it's good to see that you went and signed the out of work books. It's showing that you're being proactive. It's going back to that eagerness to like want to get it and do the appropriate steps you need to get started in the union and start working. So power line tree treatment clearance, or if you're able to get lucky, get a call for working as a groundman on a line crew or for a line contractor. Besides that, doing any sort of underground work like putting conduit in the ground, doing that type of stuff, civil work, that's great. Telecommunications, that's great. Fiber, which is basically the same thing as telecommunications, that's great. And then really, if you're having a struggle to get into any of those like civil work, underground, laying conduit and things like that, or telecommunications or fiber, really I suggest any construction blue collar work, whether that be carpentry or that's doing roofing, or that's just doing anything in the blue collar world, like just getting your hands dirty to show that, hey, on my resume, look, I've been doing construction work for the last 6 months of the year. This is what I've been doing. I've been working outside in the elements. I've been working 10 plus hours a day, Monday through Friday. So like it's showing them that you are able to work outside and actually do it. Now, benefit to that on top of that, like if you do fiber, telecommunications, or tree work, that shows that you can work at heights, which is a big thing. So if you're able to get some sort of experience that has heights involved, along with the blue collar construction, labor, working outside in the elements, all that experience put into one is really good to look on your application, on your resume. So that's what I'd recommend. But you are absolutely headed in the right direction, Braden. Like you're doing exactly what you need to do already. So I applaud you for that, because at your age, looking back, I'm like, this is what I should have been doing, but I didn't know about this stuff. And now with the readily available information on the internet, on social media, on YouTube, you can find out these things like, hey, if I want to become a lineman, and I want to get to an apprenticeship, these are the things I need to do. Class A CDL, CPR first aid card, OSHA certification, flagging certification, maybe good line school or not. But not even just for line trade, electrician trade, iron workers, plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, steam fitters, sheet metal workers, HVAC techs, any one of those things. There's a lot of information out there for you guys to really start learning and start taking the steps in high school, which, man, I really do applaud. I really do think it's awesome for those of you who are 15 or a senior in high school right now, and you're already looking into what steps do I need to take or can I do right now to get into XYZ trade. So that's awesome. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast episode of CTQ with Blue Collar Edu. I'm here to expose, teach, educate you guys about blue collar career opportunities, how to get started in the skilled trades. Like I said, and if you guys have questions about getting started in the blue collar world, in a career, in an apprenticeship, in the union, please reach out. Put up your questions in the comments down below. Email me at austin@bluecollaredu.com. And if you guys would be interested in doing a call-in, hey, I want to try to do more of those, just please email me. with a detailed question, where you're from, what state, city you live in, what career you want to get into, so I can try to get the most information for you to help build a blueprint, to maybe build a checklist for you. And then others could learn from your question and from what I could try to teach you as well. And if you want to do a call-in, let's do it. Let's set it up. I 100% want to do more of those. I think those are very valuable to not only just the caller, but to the audience as well. So with all that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next video.